time?
Behave, would you? I hope so.
All right, folks, we're live. We're going to call to order the environmental concerns and real property taxes
Thank you.
services meeting for March 20th, 2024. First order of business is to approve the minutes of the prior meeting.
I will, thanks.
Motion Supervisor Etu, second Supervisor Turner. Any question or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Privilege of the floor. Any comments from the committee members, other supervisors, members of the public? Seeing none, we have,
Chairman,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'd like
Supervisor.
to abstain from the minutes.
So noted. We have two action items. The first is the request to enter into a contract with an auctioneer. Lexi, you want to fill us in?
So approximately every 3 years, we do a new RFP to contract with an auctioneer for our tax foreclosure sale that we have every October. So it's kind of a standard. We did a scoring, myself, and as recommended by the purchasing agent, we used the committee chair. However, Supervisor Dickinson was unable, so we had Supervisor Garasi help with scoring. And so I'm looking to enter into a contract with Auctions International, so that we will have them going forward for this year. And then if we like their services, we can offer up to 2 more years as an extension, individual years. This is the same auction company that we've used for the past few years. We're very happy with them. They do prepare the TPs, the RPs, and the deeds after the county attorneys prepares the initial deed, but then they fill all the information in, send them back to us, and then we just have to make minor amendments if there's any type of changes needed. So they're a great company to work for or work with. I'd be very happy to have them back.
Motion to move this request forward. Supervisor Etu, second Supervisor Gilligan. Questions or discussions? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Second request is to amend resolution number 515 for 2022. Go ahead, Lex.
Okay, so that's our terms and conditions of sale for the auction. The county attorney's office and myself had talked in the past about amending these terms. So in there is a copy of the current terms and conditions per resolution 515 of 2022. And after that is a copy of the new terms and conditions, what we've come to agree upon. I don't know if any of you took the time to review them or if you have any questions. No.
Took the time to review them.
Okay. Anybody have questions, Joe, or?
Well, we'll get a motion first and then we can on the question. Supervisor Etu, second Supervisor Gilligan on the question.
So, County Attorney Chris Briggs is the one that did draft. So we're both here and we could ask any questions if you have any, or we can give kind of a brief synopsis of what was changed.
If you have a summary, why don't you give it to us?
Okay. I have a red line version. All right, so from the old ones that were labeled 2022, paragraph 3 was removed out. And then we edited paragraph 4 to change it from 15 days to 45 days. Basically, from the day of the auction, we will give them the 45 days. That's really what it was in the past. Came out to 45 days. In paragraph 6, we added a subsection F, which states all federal or state tax liens, if any. Paragraph 14, we removed. And then in paragraph 15, we added some language that says if a purchaser owes any outstanding and delinquent taxes to Warren County, the portion we added was on properties other than the foreclosed property. Those taxes must be paid in full prior to closing on any purchase made at this auction. And then we did add, which would become a new, it would become 14 because everything got renumbered. And it states a bidder may not bid on a parcel of real property at this auction if they are the prior owner of record for the foreclosed parcel. So that we've talked about that for quite a while, and I'm really glad to see that language in there so that there's not any questions going forward. We did have a case of that this past auction, so it's nice to have that language included.
And like not to.
You see it? You say it so we can hear it in the microphone.
The bidder in question that was a prior owner effectively drove up the price of their home to a point where they couldn't even afford it anymore. And they never ended up making payment, finalize the sale. And they ended up losing, I think it was, what was it, like $45,000? You forfeit the down payment. Once you put it down, it was like $45,000 was the down payment, because it's 10% plus 6% for the auction company. And I mean, it was a ridiculous amount of money.
It was right about 45,000 that he ended up losing because he bid so high that he thought, because he was the prior owner and he was the successful bidder, he wasn't gonna have to pay all that money to the county. Because of the new Tyler versus Hennepin County, you could apply to the courts to get your money back, but you still had to pay that money first.
Right.
So he kind of was a little fooled, and even though he was counseled by his own attorney, so he was made aware of all of this. So
What happened at the end of the line with that property?
it ended up getting sold to the second highest bidder. Because the first he could not pay. So we then offer, in any case, we would do that. If the successful bidder could not pay or chose to back out, we would automatically offer it to the second bidder. We keep track of all of that at the auction. And then if they want it, then they just pay, their full bid price.
Res McGowan.
I'm just, there, people could do this if they were behind and they could bid on their own property?
Well, that's why we've made some amendments to these terms. To
Well,
take
I'm
away
saying,
the-
I thought that was already a law. That's not right.
So we looked through all the laws to see if we could find anything substantial. And the problem with the prior language was it was vague. That was kind of the main issue, is that there really was nothing saying a prior owner could not bid. But the thing is that I found in other counties, they put that strictly in their language, that if you are the prior owner, if you're the foreclosed owner, you cannot bid on your own property. And I thought, well, I mean, that was part of this project with Lexi here, is we need to just take away any kind of what ifs. We make it as crystal clear as possible. If this was your property and you didn't meet the redemption date, which, I mean, we give these people like 4 months.
Oh, yeah,
So-
we've
so-
been over that, right?
So this is plenty of time. If you don't meet this, you can't just come in and do what happened at the auction and just drive up the price to, just an absurd amount and then just not pay it.
So my question is, this 45,000 that the previous owner obviously is out now, was that more than what it was owed on taxes?
Yeah.
I mean, so it just doesn't make sense.
15,000.
But-
No, I think it was 20 something.
Yeah.
I thought it was 28,000 that he
Yeah,
owed in
and-
taxes.
I'd have to get the numbers in front of me.
Well, I really think we ought to just send him a thank you letter for driving it up. So,
I'd rather not do that.
okay. Okay, I agree with you. It was just a thought.
Any other questions on the proposed language changes? All right, I think it's a
No,
good,
thank you for,
that's a good thing.
that's good.
And will we have the new language prior to the,
You do, it's included. If you look back further, it says up at the top, Warren County Real Estate Auction 2024. It is there. It's just under, I
Oh,
put it
okay.
under the,
it's after the original?
it is, it's after the resolution. I put the new one. I
Okay.
guess I should have put it
All
in
right,
the
we,
opposite
thank you.
order.
We have a motion, we have a second. No further questions? Oh, we have questions?
No, no.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, but a question in the future, and this is for, other things I've always asked, when we do changes like this, is it possible, and maybe this is a myth, can we have a red line version and see what's changed? Well, this is just in here, but in other committees, when we have, revisions that come up and changes, I'd like to see it's easier to catch a set of, especially for, me reading it, I wouldn't catch that unless I saw a nice big red mark or something,
Yes, I do have a red line version that I probably could share. It was not mine. It came from the county attorney, so I did not share it with committee. But I could, if any of you would like to see the red line version, I can gladly share it with you.
Well, would this be a question to the administrator? Is that a possibility in the future for all changing in, resolutions that, in the past to new? Can we get so we can see the difference?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, that's what I was going to say. I thought the question was more in general, and I
It
think
is.
we could do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, all in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Just
Lexi,
one
anything else?
other quick little update. I don't know if what the county attorney's office shared. I believe they shared with you at the board meeting, but the petitions have gone out in the mail to all the people that are in the foreclosure as of current. So they do have the right to answer. But so what ends up happening going forward, come closer to the beginning of June, I will get a more current list at that time. By the end of May, we go through and generate parcel flyers and maps so that we figure out where we gotta go. We do go out the first week in June. And we post every property that is left in the foreclosure at that time. So there's myself, my deputy Kristen McEwen. I'm not sure if you guys know her. She's sitting here on the side. We go out and last year was a great thing. We started having the sheriff's office come out with us. So they do follow us in a patrol car and it's kind of nice to have them along. So, but we do post every property that's left in at that point, giving them either a petition if they weren't served, or we give them a notice, just so that they know they only have until July, whatever the day is this year.
12th this year.
July 12th.
It's always the second,
Friday.
or second Friday in July.
What's the original number of properties on the list?
No,
It started at 286 properties. Which is about the same as last year, and I think we got it down to under 30.
yeah,
was like,
I
what,
think we
25,
went with
26?
26 last.
Yeah, a lot of people play the game.
Yes.
When will you be able to supply a list of the supervisors?
I usually try to wait until more people have paid. I mean, we could probably get you all a copy of the petition if anybody wanted the petition supervisor wise. That wouldn't be a problem, but that's like everybody.
Yeah.
And then, so once it gets closer, I usually try to send a list out to you guys. Probably closer to my June timeframe so that you guys know what's left in your town, where we're gonna be in your town. So. And
Thank you.
then I can, once the last day to redeem goes by, I try to then share another list with you guys to let you know what's left in. The auction list becomes available to the public in September.
All right, thank you Supervisor McGowan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Should this, can we make this a condition or something that the sheriff does right along? I mean, this is the things out there are getting worse as it is, and I would serve some papers for some legal matters. And I happen to know the server, and I talked about it, and it's people are getting crazy out there, and and especially You know, not because you're females or anything, but you know, I would feel, at ease knowing that, there is protection, and not even following. Maybe you can ride in the van.
We did set this up last
All right.
year, so, and I believe at budget time, it was all discussed.
Okay.
So that would be in their budget to be able to follow along.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We did put money in the budget to cover that, and we intend to use a police officer or patrol officer for these things in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? All right, privilege of the floor from committee members? No? Other supervisors, member of the public? Seeing none, on behalf of the committee, we'll extend our best wishes to our chairman Supervisor Dickinson, and hopefully he'll return with us soon. But I'll accept the motion to adjourn. Supervisor Etu, second Supervisor McGowan. Any question or discussion?